Okay, so good afternoon everyone. So I am Vincent Sauler. I will be reporting all about addressing ethics in leadership here in MEM608. So next slide po tayo. So leadership. So in chapter 1 or in the various chapter that we discuss, we have tackled about two types of leadership. These are the relationship-oriented leader, being a relationship-oriented leader, and being a task-oriented leader. So as seen in the picture, no, there are leaders that will help you succeed, no? Kagaya ng first photo natin. Okay? And in the second photo, as we can see, we see a leader here na nakikipag-usap, nakikipag-communicate sa kanilang subordinates. And here, we see the value of communication when it comes to leadership, right? In a company, we held various meetings for us to tackle about the different problems, different issues in the company para ma-resolve. What is the easiest way, of course, to solve something? It is to communicate. Just like in a relationship, just like in a family, we resolve it by communication. And in the third photo, here we can see, no, the subordinates are close to each other, right? And it helps, no, psychologically, it helps yung mga subordinates natin na maging intact, na maging united, di ba? Di ba, minsan, nagpapamiting tayo online, di ba, minsan nagpapamiting tayo ng through messenger lang, video call. But, no, yun yung ng pandemic that's the effect of pandemic. We make use of the technology, right? So now, na medyo nag-ease na yung so we can handle face-to-face meetings already in a company or in a for a meeting, okay? So, dahil, di ba, alam natin it is one of the most effective way to express yung leadership, to express unity, teamwork in a particular company or in a group na magkakasama kayo. And as a leader, tayo yung magdadala, tayo yung mag-brought up sa company natin ng unity na need para maging effective, para maging successful, kung ano ba yung objectives natin, ano yung goals natin in a company. So, sa inyo, di ba, we have various meanings or we have various definitions for leadership. But now we are going to address the deeper meaning, no, ng leadership. Another aspect of leadership, which is all about ethics. So in chapter 1, as we can see in the next slide, we tackled about understanding leadership. So we answered the question, what does it take to become an effective leader? So here, nagfo-focus to sa mga skills, sa mga what are the capabilities dapat ng isang leader, right? Being a good communicator, magaling mag-Tagalog, marunong mag-English, yung mga gestures, yung the attitude or the skills na need ng leader. In chapter 11, today we're going to discuss all about the ethics of being a leader, yung values mo, yung attitude mo, di ba? Minsan may leader hindi naman siya masyadong magaling, di ba? Pero siya, yung aura niya, di ba? Parang malakas, di ba? Parang dumaan lang siya yung tao na yun, parang very very powerful tong taong to, parang, di ba? Parang yung aura pa lang niya, yung appeal niya, di ba? And sa ethics hindi lang yun but we as a leader, we should know, di ba, yung good and the bad, right? Because that's the meaning of ethics, di ba? Okay, so now, let's go to the next slide and we're going to dig deeper sa meaning ng ethics. Okay, so now, let's define ethical leadership. Okay? So, as said in the slide, it is the influence of a moral person who moves others to do the right thing in the right way for the right reasons, according to Shiela in 2003. So it is the leadership, the type of leadership that will drive, that will motivate, that will inspire your subordinates to do the right thing, di ba? Kasi in a company, di ba? Di ba, sample na lang natin ng company because we're all working right now. So, may ano, 'di ba? Parang meron tayong objectives, meron tayong visions, missions, but we also have the core values. These are the factors na iingatan natin sa company. We have a mission, we have a goal, 'di ba? Na in the future yung company natin, it will rise up, it will top other companies, it will help the nation, 'di ba? When it comes to economy, agriculture, or whatever na ginugol ng company natin. But the most important thing is, di ba, that we leave legacy, di ba? Sa ibang tao, it is the values, the ethics, no? Na need natin ingatan as a leader. Okay? Kasi, di ba, minsan, naaalala natin yung mga leaders na kilala natin. Di ba? Sa kanilang galing, like sila Marcos, si former President Ferdinand Marcos. He's a very good leader. He's a very well-spoken leader. Diba? He even, wala siyang script whenever he does the State of the Nation address. Diba? Diba? But, diba, dahil nga yung nagkaroon siya ng issue about martial law, dahil nagkaroon siya ng issues, diba, regarding sa pagiging greedy sa yaman ng bansa natin, nagkaroon ng issue tuloy na wala Parang, diba, parang, ang galing niya. But, diba, dahil, yun nga, some of our countrymen, diba, pinanatili yung mga negative issues ni Marcos. So, nawala, na-down agad. But unlike those people, na mabubuti, right? Yeah, we know presidential aspirants like Senator Manny Pacquiao, right? Maybe he is not a good, a skillful skilled leader for us. Diba? Dahil nga nagsimula sa boxing, wala siyang gaanong knowledge with regards sa mga law, with regards to handling political aspects, diba? So wala siyang gaanong knowledge, but we know Pacquiao, diba? Minahal natin si Pacquiao dahil nakikita natin siya sa boxing, he prays before he fights. After he fights, di ba, nagpe-pray din siya, nagpapasalamat siya kay Lord regarding of what the result is. Di ba? We know Pacquiao na nagbibigay ng 1,000, di ba? Sa mga ngayon, no, during election. We don't know his intention, but we see naman na very good yung intention na. Pero di ba, na minamahal natin si Pacquiao bilang boxinger dahil yung maganda niyang attitude, yung humility niya, right? So, yun yung sinasabi ni Shiela. And the second, it is also the process by which a good person rightly influences others to accomplish a common good. Yun yung sinabi ko kanina, to make the world better, fairer, no, yung equity, kailangan pantay-pantay tayo ng treatment, diba? Sa isa't isa, okay. And also more humane. Okay, so we want to be a very good human beings, right? Okay. So let's go to the next slide. Ethics. Okay, let's define ethics. So medyo i-define natin siya ng malalim. It is concerned with the kind of values and morals an individual or society finds desirable or appropriate. Diba? So sa ethics, we of course, we tackle all about the good and the bad, diba? And we separate them. In our country, in a society, we separate the good and the bad through the laws, right? So yung law, diba, we have the codes na ginawa ng ating mga senators, ng ating mga lawmakers, diba? We separated, diba, the good and the bad. Ano yung dapat gawin ng mga citizens, i-comply nila, and ano yung hindi dapat, diba? Sa iba-ibang country, iba-iba yung laws. Iba-iba yung parang good and bad, no? Just like for example, parang, di ba, pag tumungo tayo ng ganyan, it means yes, di ba? Pero sa ibang country, pag gumano ka, it means no. Am I right? Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Di ba? Parang iba-iba yung meaning per country. So, yun yung meaning ng ethics, okay? So, the ethics, the word ethics, it came from the Greek word ethos, which means character, and Latin word mores, which means customs. Okay? So sa leadership, we have three factors na kailangan tingnan natin. One is control. no? Itong taong ito ba kaya niyang mang-control ng, I mean, i-control niya for example na lang sa atin, no, sa engineering, no, sometimes in a site we handle 100 or more manpower, di ba? So siyempre kapag ikaw yung employer, titingnan mo, ito bang taong ito kaya niya mang-influence ng 100 or more na tao, kaya niya bang mapasunod yun? So titingnan yun. Second is the power. Okay? So kasama din sa control eh, 'di ba? Wala kang control sa tao kung wala kang yung power mo, yung parang aura mo, 'di ba? Magkakaroon ka lang ng influence if you are very knowledgeable sa ginagawa mo. Siyempre kapag nakita nila, alam ni sir itong ginagawa niya. Parang siyempre naniniwala ako sa kanya, sir, 'di ba? Parang magde-depend tayong lahat sa kanya. Kasi he has the power, he has the knowledge, he has the control. And lastly, the influence. Okay? So parang triad din no? Parang triangle yan. It all comes from having a power, of course, the knowledge, di ba? And then parang it will follow the control and the influence. Okay, so in leadership, next slide tayo. Leadership ethics in action. So we are going to discuss all about the different facets of leader, no? Yung kailangan niyang i-obtain as a leader. So first, character of a leader. Second, actions of a leader. Third, goals of a leader. Honesty of a leader. Power of a leader, and values of a leader. Next slide. So now, number 1. So, character of a leader. So, what is the character of a leader? It refers to the qualities, disposition, core values of a leader. No? Just like what we've tackled a while ago, yung character niya, it tackles all about the positive traits na kailangan na need ng leader. Okay? To move a certain amount of people in a group or a team or in a workplace. Okay? So, siyempre, good. We will focus on the good, not on the negative sides of being a leader. So, sabi ni Aristotle, may sinabi siya dyan eh. Aristotle argued that a moral person demonstrates the virtues of courage, generosity, self-control, honesty, sociability. Siyempre, kailangan as a leader, you should communicate. Modesty, fairness, again, and justice. Okay? So, kailangan panaigin natin lagi yung tama. Sinabi din yan ni Velasquez noong 1992. So, character, it is something that is developed. Okay? Alam naman natin in the Bible, we are born sinners, right? But as we go on, yung mga parents natin, of course, they taught us, diba, how to be good, how to respect yung elderly, diba? Yung pagsabi ng po and opo, yung pagsunod sa magulang, yung pagtawag ng kuya sa nakakatandang lalaki, and ate sa nakakatandang babae. So it is developed. Tinitrain yan sa atin through our families, sa school. That's why we have the GMRC subject, di ba? Values education. So it is developed. Not only it is taught, but we learn it also through experience, di ba? Sometimes, di ba, parang may nakakausap tayo na tao di ba? Parang minsan hindi natin alam kung anong position niya di ba? For example, in a company again. Sometimes, di ba, parang kinausap lang natin sila na parang through their names kasi parang magkaedad lang naman kayo di ba? But little did we know na parang siya pala yung CEO of that company. And we weren't able to address him, sir. So, dun pa lang, di ba, right now, lahat ng makikilala natin na tao or makakausap natin, whether ka-edad natin or what, we will address them as sir, as ma'am, di ba? As miss. So, kailangan, kumbaga, we learn to respect everyone na. We need to treat them fairly, to call them with utmost respect. So, it is developed also through experience and also through educating us, education na nabibigay ng ating family and also educational industries. So, dito sa character of a leader, we answer the question, who am I as a person. Diba? So, kailangan bago ka mag-lead bago mo sila i-lead into something na, I mean, parang i-lead mo sila sa gusto mo na posisyon or kalalagyan, kailangan tanongin mo yung sarili mo, ako ba qualified ako to lead them? Qualified ba ako maging example sa kanila? Ano ba ako? Ano bang meron ako ngayon? So, you answer that question. Okay. The next slide. So, now we have the 6 dimensions of character framed by Josephson Institute in 2008. So, it is a study that was conducted in California. So, here, we tackle all about the 6 pillars of character. So, hindi ko na ito isa-isahin. But, the different categories, the main categories are trustworthiness. Okay? So, kailangan pagkatiwalaan ka nila. How? Diba? True and not. So, by being honest, of course. By having no records of deceiving or cheating. By building a good reputation. By having the courage to do the right thing. Of course. Okay, so wag na tayong magtagal dyan. Next na tayo, respect. Sa respect, of course, you should, as a leader, be considerate of others too. Diba? We have the golden rule What you do to others, it will also be done to you. It is true in some aspects, no? So we should, if you want to be respected, you should respect others too. Diba? Kahit na mas mababa yung position niya sa inyo, or mas mataas, or kapareho lang kayo. Respect is very important. Okay? Be considerate of others. Siyempre, kapag nagtatrabaho ka, halimbawa, may worker ka na mag-a-absent, sa tanongin mo, bakit? Dahil may family problem sila. But ikaw, bilang engineer, for example, parang, bakit ka absent kuya? Parang kailangan ka namin. May target tayong magawa tomorrow. May target tayo na ma-finish to. Kailangan to So, anong gagawin natin as a leader? Okay? Maybe, we'll try to fill in his position, right? Kasi may something siya na problem diba? Sa kanyang family, we should be considered very urgent daw, sabihin niya, emergency daw. So we should fill in his position. Siyempre marami dyan. Actually, most of the workers now are very flexible. Diba? Plumber siya. Plumbing yung hinahanap natin. Kailangan. Maybe, yung mason dyan, marunong hindi siya mag-plumbing. Very flexible na yung mga workers natin ngayon. So maybe, we can fill up his position. Diba? Kasi we will ask first, diba? Yung mga subordinates natin ngayon, yung present subordinates. Sinong may skills sa plumbing sa inyo? Ayan, tatanungin mo muna before you allow yung person na mag-leave. Okay? Kasi nga, dahil may problem sila sa family. Kasi nga, considerate leader ka Okay? So, yun yung mga various ways lang naman or solutions, okay, that we can do to deliver respect. Okay? And next, third is responsibility. Okay? So, as a leader, kailangan makitaan ka nila na responsible ka. You must do your job, you must persevere sa goal nyo. You must think before you act. Okay? And you should consider the consequences of the things that you will do. So before you do or you act on kung ano yung napagdesisyonan mo, you should take a look at the pros and cons. Okay? Nang gagawin mong action. Okay? Kapag ginawa ko ba to, it will benefit our company, it will benefit our group. Kapag ginawa ko ba to, parang may masasagasaan bang tao, ganyan. Diba? Hindi lang to sa as a leader but also in our personal lives Diba? Kapag sinabi ko ba to, sasaya ba talaga ako? Ganyan. Diba? Kasi maaaring yung sasabihin mo na yun, sasaya ka nga, pero nakakasakit naman ang iba. Okay? So, as a leader, you should consider that as well. Okay? Diba? Diba? Sa mahal natin, lalo na for any one of you na may ka-relationship. Diba? Sometimes kapag nagkakaroon ng arguments, diba? Sometimes yung emotion natin nag-rise up until it will reach the peak. Then kapag nangyari na yun, minsan nakapagbitaw na tayo ng words na masasakit, di ba? Oo, nagiging free na tayo from yung emotion na kasi nailalabas natin. But hindi natin iniisip yung mangyayari afterwards, yung mga sinabi natin na masasakit sa ka-relationship natin. No? You must be responsible. You must be responsible, okay, of the actions na gagawin mo. And fourth, we have fairness. Okay, we should play by the rules. So very basic na lang to. Be open-minded. Of course, you should listen also sa mga sasabihin ng iba, yung mga suggestion nila, recommendations. Do not take advantage of others and don't blame others. Siyempre, lalo na kung ikaw yung nag-decide niyan. Diba? Kung ano ba, inapprobahan mo yan eh. Hindi, kasalanan mo na. Siyempre, kung hindi mo nireview masyado bago mo i-approve yung isang work. So, don't blame them. Okay? And also, kung may mali nga sila, you should talk to them na in a very soft manner. You should talk to them maybe privately, di ba? Kasi sometimes, may mga iba-ibang leader na mamahiya eh. During meeting with other employees, di ba? Parang pinapahiya nila, parang, ikaw, ano ka, ganyan, di ba? So, kung may issue tayo sa isang person, particular employee, you should pull them out of a group and talk to them, di ba? Or text them na, can you come to my office? We'll just talk for a particular issue na kailangan natin i-address, okay? And lastly, caring. Okay, be kind, you should forgive others. Dahil lahat tayo nagkakamali, even leaders, even boss, di ba? Yung mga bosses natin, nagkakamali din. Okay? And we should help people in need. Diba? Be caring, be loving to your workers, diba? Diba? Lalo na yung mga boss natin, diba? Ngayon, pandemic, diba? I mean, our leaders should, diba, know kung ano ba yung, should have an initiative, diba? Like, magkaroon ng 13th month pay, 14th month pay, 15th month, diba? Joke lang. Ayan, so, kumbaga maging considerate sila. Diba, in the salary, diba, masyadong malayo yung employee natin na ito, diba? So maybe we should consider giving him transportation allowances, diba? And also food allowances, diba? Diba, we assign people in the site na walang tindahan doon. Maybe we should give them food allowance so they can buy food in advance before na pumunta sila dun sa particular site na yun, remote area na walang makitang food or any resources, okay? So, we should consider caring. Yun nga, di ba? Di ba? Okay, and last, citizenship. So, you should get involved with your subordinates. You should stay informed also about the happenings around, di ba? Being a leader, di ba? Di ba? When you are proposing something, di ba? Minsan, pinag-aaralan natin mabuti eh. Diba, ano na ba yung latest trends dito sa mundo natin ngayon? For example, in engineering, huwag na tayong lalayo, diba? Sa paggawa ng bahay, sa paghulima ng walls ng bahay, diba? Sometimes we stick to the traditional or the conventional way of constructing a house, diba? Or a structure, which is using CHB, diba? But now, diba, by researching, by staying informed, diba, we get the updates from various countries and ginagawa nila doon, nagpi-precast sila, di ba? Sometimes yung precast construction ginagawa nila, cast in place, which is pinopormahan nila yung bahay na mismo, yung layout ng bahay, then bubuhusan nila na lang nila through concrete, di ba? Bubuhos na agad, nakaporma na siya agad. So that's being informed. Okay? Also, we should respect authority and we should also protect the environment, our natural resources, the gift ni Lord sa atin, di ba? Lalo na sa engineering, di ba? Sometimes, we cut trees, di ba? Para lang, yun nga, para yung desired na layout natin ng makamit natin, di ba? But there are various engineers or architects, di ba? Nagde-design ng very environmental friendly na mga structure, no? Na hindi na nila kailangan putulin yung tree, right? Pero sinasama na nila yan sa design nila. So, that's a very good idea. No? So, we should protect the environment. So here are the 6 dimensions of characters framed by Josephson Institute in 2008. So now, we're going to talk about a particular leader na very famous, kilalang-kilala natin ito, si Mr. Nelson Mandela. He was born on July 18, 1918 in the village of Nueveso in the Eastern Cape. Okay? So the country's first head of state in South Africa, Nelson Mandela, from 1994 to 1999. Saan ba siya kilala? He led the transition from apartheid to multiracial democracy. What is apartheid democracy? So ito, kumbaga nagkakaroon ng discrimination dito from various races. Okay? So it is a democracy na kumbaga pinagbubuklod niya yung white, yung mga South Africa, and the black people. And he converted it, pinaglaban niya into multiracial democracy. So kumbaga, lahat ng races united na. Okay? So saan pa siya kilala? Not only dahil matalino siya, magaling siya ng leader, he is the first head of state, but kilala siya because of the deep moral, for being a deep moral man with a strong character. Diba? Diba lahat naman tayo Diba nabibighani sa tao na sobrang bait? Diba? Who among you, diba? Guys, ng mga klasiko na diba namamangha sa sobrang bait. Diba pag nakita tayong tao na nagbibigay, we see a person na parang nagmamano po pa kahit na matanda na siya. And also, diba, yung tinutulungan tumawid yung lolo at lola sa kalsada. And nagpopo and opo pa hanggang ngayon kahit malaki na siya, di ba? So, di ba nakakabighani? And it, di ba, parang kahit di mo pa siya kilala, pero parang alam mo na he's a good person. Di ba? Parang inspired ka na agad. So, yun, dun siya kilala si Mr. Nelson Mandela. And he also illustrated that character enables leader to maintain ethical leadership or values even in times of immense adversity, di ba? Noong time ngayon yung South Africa magulo They were discriminated by other countries, yung mga first class na countries, di ba? Yung Africa, lagi silang binababa. But still, di ba? Anong ginawa niya? Pinaway ba niya ni Mr. Nelson Mandela? Pinagtaasan niya ba ng boses? O pinasabog niya yung America or what other countries na nang-aano sa Africa? No! He remained calm. Diba? He remained calm. Diba kung mapapansin natin sa mga videos ni Mr. Mandela, diba? Very calm siya magsalita. Diba? So, that's one of the ethics, or the attributes ng leadership na we need, na we can grab from Mr. Nelson Mandela. Okay, so do you have a question, guys? So, kahit may question kayo, I won't be able to answer in the video to. Okay. So, next naman, na i-discuss natin is are the actions of a leader. It refers to the ways a leader goes about accomplishing a goal. It answers the question, do the ends justify the means? Diba? Ethical leadership involves using morally appropriate actions to achieve goals. So, actions, diba? Diba? Pag sa love, diba? Paano natin napoprove yung love? Not just through words, not just by saying I love you, but through actions. Right? We apply yung love na sinasabi natin. Na hindi lang love na pampakilig, hindi lang love dahil girlfriend mo siya or boyfriend, but love mo siya dahil you care about him or her. Diba? You respect her, you honor her, you love everything about her, you accept her. Diba? Lahat ng imperfections and also the perfections, the good and the bad. Okay? Sa hirap at sa ginhawa. So, ganyan din sa pagiging leader. Do the ends justify the means? Okay, next slide. So, dito sa Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq, it is in 2004. Okay? So, sabi dito, the national security and security gathering became a high priority. Okay, so there are prisoners in this prison cell. Okay, na anong nangyari? Dahil heavily guarded sila, so the guards are stationary no? Dun sa prison na yun. Dahil siguro sa kawalan ng social life nila, dahil nga they were stationed no? In that particular prison cell ng matagal, they were able to sexually abuse, humiliate, and torture prison personnel and yung mga prisoners. No? So the goal, ano bang goal na itong prison na ito? The goal of maintaining national security and intelligence. The means used to some prisoners were considered unjustified. Many believe the goals did not justify the means. Ano ba ibig sabihin itong the goals did not justify the means? Diba? Ano ba ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin, yung ginawa nilang action, hindi niya na-justify kung ano yung gusto nilang maging outcome eh. Okay? Diba? Gusto nilang maging, siyempre, secured yung mga tao by imprisoning those bad people. Pero, mali yung ginawa nilang punishment. Imbis na kinulong lang sila, okay na yun eh. Kinulong sila. I think it is already fair eh. Diba? Some of them were sentenced lifetime imprisonment. Diba? But, malalang punishment pa yung pinaranas ng mga prison personnel, sa mga guards. They humiliated them, tinorture nila, sinexually abuse nila. Diba? So, parang halos wala silang pinagkaiba sa mga prisoners na yun. Diba? Diba? Yung fairness, yung justice, wala. Parang hindi na-serve ng fair. Parang, kumbaga pinanish sila beyond dun sa nagawa nila na masama. Gets? Okay? So, it wasn't able to justify the means. Okay. Now, next. Actions of a leader. Leaders can act in many ways to achieve a goal. Diba? If we can make a flow chart or if we can make a graph or a diagram, particular diagram, diba? Para ma-achieve mo yung something, there are a lot of options diba? Na we can do. Like, for example, in engineering or construction industry, diba? Halimbawa, yung bahay, yun nga, we have different ways sa pag-construct ng bahay. Through CHB, conventional, or through cast in place or precast. So, maraming ways. So, ganun din sa leadership. We should choose the way na convenient, na maybe economical din, okay, nagagastos tayo ng konti, and effective. Pinaka-effective way. Or yung naaakma sa panahon, sa weather, naakma sa dami ng tao na meron ka sa isang group, and naayon din sa skills ng group. Okay? So, yun yung mga different ways na you need to achieve, no? To ask in your mind, no? Being as a leader. So, a leader's action can raise questions of fairness, compassion towards their workplace. Okay? Wala, titignan mo kung ano ba, minsan mapapatanong kayo, di ba? Di ba? Kayo ba na-experience yun? Di ba? Parang itong workmate ko na ito, parang mas matagal pa ako dito, pero ba't parang siya yung mas maagang na-promote? Or, di ba, minsan, we are applying for a company. Like, for example, specifically a government company. And ngayon, di ba, napakahirap mag-apply ngayon sa mga government company. Di ba? And then, for example, there is a company na freeze hiring, di ba? And then, kumbaga, may dalawang nag-a-apply. Yung isa, just a normal person na engineer. And then the other, he is also an engineer, but may kakilala siya doon sa company na yun. Na-hire yung isa. Because may connection siya. Walang fairness. Pero yung isa, he is for example, he is a master plumber. He is also a safety officer. Kumbaga marami siyang credential. And he has a good record in his previous works, for example. Pero ito, parang marami siyang bad records. Pero dahil may kakilala siya dun, mas nakapasok siya. So, walang fairness. Diba? Nakakalita ko. So, yun guys. Ganun yun guys, no? So we should be fair as a leader, as an employee, as a boss, okay? As their the one they look up to. Sabi dito ni as described by the scholars, Champ and Bowie in 1988, Shiela in 2003, Johnson in 2005, Kanungo in 2001, Kanungo and Mendonca in 1996. Number 1 na kailangan natin, mga actions na kailangan natin gawin is we should show respect. Basahin natin. To show respect means to treat others as unique human beings and never as means to an end. Ano ibig sabihin nun? We should treat others uniquely. No? Huwag nating expectin agad na parang itong mga subordinates natin pare-parehong magagaling yan. Okay? Isipin natin lagi na ito, diba, may new employed na tao. Expectin natin na wala pa siyang ganong alam, hindi pa siya familiar sa gagawin niya, sa scope of work niya. So we should treat them with respect. Okay? To treat others' decisions and values with utmost respect. When a leader shows respect to subordinates, the subordinates become more confident, or they believe that their contributions to a particular group or team also have values. Naramdaman ng subordinates mo na importante sila. No? That's one of the legacy na dapat iwan natin sa mga tao natin. Diba? Is that na valued sila, minamahal sila, iniibig sila, iniirog sila. Joke lang. Masyadong na yan. And the next one, serving others. Okay? We should serve others too. Diba? Kung titignan natin sa Bible, diba? If we remember the story of our Lord Jesus, diba? Diba, there's a moment there, there's a particular scenario there na yung lahat ng disciples niya, pinaikot niya sa table. Diba? Si Lord na noong time na he is a rabbi, in Jew, no? Sa Jew, it means teacher. Diba? So, nire-respeto siya. Ibig sabihin, marami siyang alam sa law, sa Bible. Diba? Pero si Jesus, tinipon niya yung mga kasamahan niya sa work, yung mga disciple niya. And then, ano yung ginawa niya, di ba? Kinupi niya yung cloth niya sa braso niya. Kumuha siya ng palanggana na medyo may tubig. And then, lampin. And then, di ba, hinugasan niya yung paa ng kanyang mga disciples. So, it shows, no, that our Lord Jesus, even Him being a God, He is willing to serve others. So, being a leader, you should serve others too. Serving others' primary purpose is to promote the best interest of others. A leader may be called on to act in the interest of others, even when it may run contrary to his or her self-interest. Sanabi yan ni Bowie noong 1991. Tama yun, di ba? Minsan kahit na labag sa loob mo but for the best interest of the people naman. And it will also result to good thing naman, to a good outcome naman. As long as yun, inisip mo yung consequence pa rin yung gagawin mo being a leader, as long as tama naman yun, pero labag sa loob mo. So, go! Okay, then third, serving others can be observed in activities such as mentoring, empowering others, team building, and citizenship behavior. You know, being a leader, we should also be relational or relationship-oriented. Diba? Kailangan maging relationship-oriented tayo. In a company, huwag tayo masyadong seryoso, right? So, we should also have yung mga retreat, diba? Mga outdoor fellowship, outdoor activities. We should also do seminars, diba? Yun nga, actually, sa current work ko po, mga MEM608, diba? We are proposing there, no, na every month magkaroon ng seminar, no? For the engineers, for the accountants, for the admins, diba? It will also boost up and hype yung mga employees, diba? To learn new things. And also yung panonood nyo lang ng seminar na sama-sama, it promotes unity it promotes fellowship. Diba? Masaya. Kung hindi lang puro work, magsaya din. Diba? As long as naka-achieve kayo ng something na very successful. Right? Okay. So, according kay Kanungo and Mendoza noong 1996, a leader must be a follower-centered. Okay? Di ba kami kasabihan before you become a master, you must become a servant muna. Lahat tayo nag-undergo ng process. Di ba? Di ba? We hear a lot of stories Like, for example, ako may nabasa ako sa Facebook. He is a janitor in Dubai or Abu Dhabi yata yun. But he was able to save a lot of money. And then, nung umuwi na siya sa Philippines, nagkaroon siya ng restaurant. Diba? Naging boss siya. And right now, minamahal siya ng kanyang mga tao. Kasi nga, he started from being a janitor. He started from being in level 1, diba? He knows what it feels to be in that level. Kaya nung nag-level na siya, yung naging boss level na siya, di ba? Tinitreat niya ng utmost respect yung mga subordinates niya. Kasi nga, he knows what it feels like, right? On that position. So yun. You must be a follower-centered. And then lastly, showing justice. Ethical leaders make it a top priority to treat all their subordinates in an equal manner. Okay? So, parang math lang yun. Diba? 1 equals 1. Right? So, tama, diba? Same numbers yun, diba? Equal siya, diba? So, being a leader, you should treat others equal. Walang greater than, walang less than, walang greater than or equal to, walang less than or equal to, laging equal. And justice demands that a leader place the issues of fairness at the center of decision making. Before making a decision, you should ask yourself, ganito rin ba yung pagtrato ko sa empleyado ko na ito? Ganyan. Ganito rin ba yung pag-treat ko dito sa isang taong ito? Diba? Also in our personal lives Diba? Kung paano ba ako sa work, ganoon din ba ako sa personal ko na buhay, sa family ko. Minsan kasi, di ba, mabait tayo sa labas. Pero pagdating sa pamilya, parang naiiba na. Parang iba na yung trato natin. We seem good, di ba, to others. We give kung anong needs nila. We give them foods, di ba? We treat them outside. Pero yung family ba natin, di ba, we should ask ourselves, nagagawa ba natin? We should remember that our first and foremost training ground, or kumbaga yung dapat i-priority, it is in our house, in our home, sa family mo. Kung hindi ka ganun sa family mo, what you do sa ibang tao, parang hindi halos totoo yun. Okay, as a rule, no one should receive special treatments or special consideration except when a particular situation demands it. So, ano na yan, di ba? Parang self-explanatory na yan. Okay? Okay. So, next. Ayan, di ba may kasabihan dito? Treat others as you would like to be treated. The golden rule. Right? If you expect fair treatment from others, then you should treat others fairly too. Di ba? It is important for the leader to establish clearly the rules for distributing a reward. Okay? For distributing rewards. Kailangan lahat sila. Kasi, di ba, in a company or in a team, iisang katawan kayo, one body. So, lahat may contribution yan. Wala tayong dapat i-left out na ating subordinates. We should give kung anong binigay natin kay Juan. We should give kung anong binigay natin dito kay Pedro, kay empleyado A, empleyado B. Dapat same lang. Okay? Okay, next. Meron tayong story. Richard and Eric Lee. So, ito, baseball. Ito, sports, no? Sino sa inyo yung may sa sports, guys? Taas niyo yung inyong mga kamay. Okay? So, si Eric Lee, he is a very outstanding teacher with a lot of natural ability. Natural ability, sabihin, kumbaga, ano ba yun? Kumbaga, natural na sa kanya yun. Kumbaga, very gifted na siya dun. Diba? I know a lot of people na very gifted, no? Na kumbaga parang, for example, in dancing, di ba? Parang napanood niya lang to ng yung TikTok, mga TikTok dance na napanood niya lang sa TikTok or sa Facebook. Baga, nakopya niya na agad kasi he is a naturally born dancer. Baga, gets niya na agad. So, may natural ability daw si Eric Lee. But, eto, dito na siya pumalya. Magaling siya but dito siya pumalya. During one of the games, Mr. Eric became frustrated with his performance and started acting immaturely. Okay, so in one of their games, no, medyo parang naging tambak, okay, yung score. So dahil doon parang nabalisa na agad siya yung emotions niya, kinain na siya. Naging siya, immature na yung okay? So nagwala na siya, maybe hinagis niya yung bat niya sa outer space, or maybe parang umiyak siya, parang nagwala siya, nagsabi-sabi siya ng mga words na very immature, very inappropriate. So, hindi natin alam kung ano ba yung ginawa ni Eric. But when Eric, okay, so, okay, mali yata yung nasa, but when Richard, okay, the father of Eric, saw his son's behavior, no, Richard is the coach nga pala. Yung tatay ni Eric, yung pinakamagaling sa team nila, he is also the coach of their team. No? He took him out of the game, no? Sinabstitit niya agad. Okay? At nilabas niya si Eric, pinalitan ng ibang player na hindi masyadong ganong kagaling katulad ni Eric. The player who replaced Eric was not as good as him, which cost the game. Na dahil hindi nga siya as skillful as Eric, so natalo sila. Okay, natalo sila. The parents of the other players were so furious, diba? And told him, Richard, the coach, the father of Eric, that he should not have pulled his son out. Hindi na dapat nilabas. But little did they know, no? May deeper na understanding kasi si Mr. Richard Lee sa anak niya and sa player. Okay, why? Ito, malalaman natin dito yung reason niya. They were able to fail, no? Kung ano yung nakikita ni Mr. Richard outside the box. They failed to recognize that Richard made a strong effort to be fair to all players by treating his son the way he would treat other players who acted out. Okay? Siyempre, anak ko yan eh. Diba sometimes, may mga ganun eh. Diba parang anak ko yan eh. Nagwala siya, si Richard, diba? Kung ibang tatay siguro to, kahit na nag-act siya. Pero, siya yung pinakamagaling kong player eh. Sige, hindi ko siya isa-sub sa game. Okay? Pero, kung makikita natin, nagwala na si Richard eh. Diba? Nagwala na siya eh. Diba? Emotionally, naapektuhan niya na rin yung team niya eh. Diba? Parang nagwala na siya, nalungkot na. Imbis na may ginawa sila, imbis na parang huminahon muna, nag-isip sila ng way para magkaroon ng bounce back, mag-come back from the game at manalo. Diba? Nagwala na. Na emotionally, wala na. Inatake na siya ng tantrums niya or whatsoever. Diba? So, wala na. So, anong ginawa? Tama yung ginawa ni Sir Richard. Tinake out niya si Eric, no? Para ma-release yung emotions niya dun sa group na yun. Na maaari pang maka-apekto sa other players. Okay? So, ganun yun. Tama. And, bakit niya ginawa ito? Para nga sabihin sa ibang tao, sa ibang player, na kung paano niya i-treat yung ibang player, ganun niya rin i-treat yung son niya. Okay? Diba? Kasi team yan. Right? Okay. Fairness. So, next naman, na category ng leader na dapat natin i-tackle is the goal. What are the goals of the leader? Ano bang goal mo bilang leader? Dapat may purpose ka in being a leader. Kasi nga kaya ka leader eh. From the root itself, the root word, di ba, lead. Saan mo sila i-lead? Yun yung goal mo. Okay? So, how a leader uses goals to influence others says a lot about leadership's ethics. Okay? Identifying and pursuing just and worthy goals are the most important steps an ethical leader will undertake. So, di ba? For example, okay, let's relate it also sa ating field, which is in construction industry, di ba? Ano bang tamang SOP, standard operating procedure? Paano tayo gagawa muna ng structure? Pag-uusapan muna natin, right? Di ba? Parang ano bang target natin na tao dito sa gagawin nating building? Di ba? Ano yung mga ilalagay natin sa building na yun? Saan nakapwesto yung mga office, mga ganun. Ano yung target date nyo na ma-accomplish yung building na ito? Diba? Ano yung goal nyo? Yung kalsada, ano yung goal nyo? Diba? Para mawala yung traffic, may goal kayo. Diba? Just like in EDSA, nag-establish tayo ng Skyway 3 doon. Anong goal natin? Para lang ba, masabi lang na may Skyway na rin yung Philippines? Hindi. To ease the traffic, of course. Diba? Not just because yung in-implement ni President Duterte na build program, hindi lang dahil doon magpasikat tayo, but to ease the traffic para magkaroon ng other options yung mga motorista natin kung saan sila dadaan. Okay? So we should have a goal in mind. Just like these examples, no? Mr. Adolf Hitler, he was able to convince millions of people that the eradication of the Jews was justified. But, no? Ano bang goal niya talaga? It was just an evil goal. Gusto niya lang talaga i-conquer yung Jewish countries, diba? Kaya niya pinatay yung mga Jew. Okay? So, yun yung ano niya. Kumbaga parang some people, parang pinagmumukha nila or kino-convert nila di ba yung minds natin na yung mali is tama, di ba? Right? Minsan ganun pero hindi. Okay, we should stand on our ground. We should do researches, di ba? Mga research in order for us ma-save from the evil purposes ng mga ibang tao. We should be alert and aware, okay? And next naman si Mother Teresa, no? Her goal to help the poor and disenfranchised was moral. Okay? Disenfranchised. Okay? So her goal, no? 'Di ba? Ano bang goal ni Mother Teresa, 'di ba? To help the poor, to eliminate poverty. Ito yung mabuting elimination. Hindi kagaya ni Adolf Hitler, yung elimination niya, yung elimination ng buhay ng tao, 'di ba? Para ma-conquer yung land nila. But ito si Mother Teresa, her purpose is to eradicate yung poverty sa iba-ibang places na pinupuntahan niya. So it's a very good goal, right? Goal in mind, in heart. And next, of course, humanity's goal. Diba? To build houses and properties for the disadvantaged people. It is very moral. Okay, yung pagbibigay, that's why we have various foundations, right? Diba? Yung ibang tao, diba? They have the heart to build a foundation para sa mga special child. Diba? Some teachers, that's like my girlfriend, actually, her goal is to study, diba? Yung how to educate people with special needs, no? So these are some of the examples of humanity's goal. No, we prioritize the needs of the people surrounding us, and that became kumbaga our source, ng goal. Okay, ng purpose ng goal. Ikot-ikot lang tayo, guys, no? So we have here Jacob Heckert. He is the president of Regional Health Company, okay, in his country. Jacob believed in community service and advocated but did not demand. Hindi niya pinilit yung mga tao na ito, suportahan niyo ako, magbigay kayo ng pera. Okay? But Jacob is interested in supporting National Kidney Foundation. Okay? Yun yung sinet niyang foundation He urged his company of 4,000 employees, of those 4,000 willing employees, to join him raising money for the foundation's 5,000. So yun yung tawag nila sa foundation nila, no? So, for the National Kidney Foundation. The rally was a great success. Why? Because those people are very passionate about helping others when it comes to kidney foundation, when it comes to foundation. They were able to raise more than $180,000. That's a very big amount of money. The employees felt good being able to contribute to our worthy cause. Hindi niya pinilit eh. But those people also have a goal in mind to help, no, people na may defect sa katawan, particularly sa kidney, no. Kayo ba, guys, were you able to donate something? Diba? Sometimes, diba tayo, naka-experience tayo, we were able to donate yung mga books natin, we were able to donate yung ating valuable things like watches, like yung cellphone maybe, diba? Sa ating mga kamag-anak na walang cellphone. Why? Para ba i-boast yung ating yaman? I-boast na meron tayong nito? No. But we have a cause, right? Diba? We have a goal in mind to help them, to support them. And it felt good, right? Hindi tayo napipilitan, diba? We are doing it hindi dahil napipilitan tayo or pinipilit tayo. We do it because we love to do it. And that should be the goal of being a leader. Okay? We should keep in mind na importante yung buhay ng ibang tao rin. Hindi lang tayo. Okay. And next naman, power of a leader. So, kaya pa ba guys? Power is the capacity to influence or affect others. Diba? Yun nga yun. Yung kanina, diba, tinitingnan natin yung triad na sinabi ko, diba? Yung power, influence, may control. The ability to affect others' belief, attitude, and courses of action. Example na lang is we have yung mga ating priests, diba? Mga pastors natin. They were also leaders, but in the church, right? So, through the Word of God, diba? Which is the manual of our relationship kay Lord, diba? They are guiding us eh. Diba? Ano ba yung dapat natin gawin? They are helping us interpret, diba? Kung ano ba yung nasa Bible. Sometimes, diba, there are verses in the Bible that we cannot fully comprehend. And those leaders we have in the church, the pastors and the priests, they are the one na ini-enlighten tayo, diba? Ano ba yung dapat natin gawin? Ano yung good na ethics or ano yung bad na conducts, diba? So, ginaguide nila tayo, okay, every Sunday. And ginaguide nila tayo. And tayo, bilang tigapakinig, anong gagawin natin? Ano yung part natin? We should apply it. Okay? Power is not inherently bad, but it can be used in negative ways kapag na-abuse. How a leader uses power says a great deal about the leader's ethics. Okay? Diba some leaders, diba, parang ina-abuse nila yung power nila eh. Diba, ay, sinusunod ako nito, ako yung leader. Pwede ko siyang i-take advantage. Diba? So, mali yun. Okay? Just like, I mean, in my personal experience, we have a leader, no? Na parang, ay, ito, bago pa lang ito na employee eh. Parang ako na-experience ko yun eh. Parang bago pa lang ako na employee. And I wasn't able to yung starting date ko, okay? And yung cut-off, hindi siya nag-meet. Parang ganun. Kasi parang 5 days after yung start ng cut-off, doon ako na, yun yung first day ko. And nung salary, nung sahod na day, I found out na inabsent nila ako dun sa 5 days yun. Which is, yun nga, na hindi ko kinomply. So, I of course, I argued. I was able to present kung ano yung aking concern or yung laban ko. But they were able to listen sa aking hinanakit. So, yun. So, medyo unfair. But, yun nga, kumbaga medyo in-abuse ako. Joke lang. Okay? Okay, so power, no? So, an ethical leader does not wield power or dominate, but instead takes into account the will of the subordinates as well as the leader's own will. Okay? So, next slide. So, we have here the story of Dan Johnson. Dan was hired as an executive, okay, in a manufacturing company. The new job required Dan and his family to leave the small Michigan community to move to Chicago. A few days after he started, his boss, Justin Godfrey, took him aside and told him that he should not sell his Michigan house. But Justin suggested to postpone his move by using his wife's job as an excuse when people inquired why the family had not moved to Chicago. The company then announced a merger. A few months later, Dan's job in Chicago was already eliminated. So ano matututunan natin dito? This illustrates that it is important for leaders to be authentic. At the same time, leaders must be sensitive to the attitude and feelings of others. Okay? By being truthful, pagiging totoo. Okay? In appropriate ways. So we should be real, we should be authentic as a leader. Okay? And also, we have here a table, no? French and Raven's 5 bases of power. This was formulated in 1959, and each of these types of power increases a leader's capacity to have an impact on others, and each has the potential to be abused. Okay, number 1, so hindi ko na to i-elaborate. Number 1, you have the referent power, the expert power, legitimate power, reward power, and coercive power. So, I suggest and encourage every one of you na kindly read itong different bases of power. Okay? And next, so we have two leaders here again. I think these are not well-known na good leader, no? Si Adolf Hitler and Jim Jones. We all know, di ba, si Adolf Hitler, through his power, was able to lead the killings of millions of Jews and other marginalized group in Germany. Di ba, marami siyang napatay. And while Jim Jones, ito, medyo hindi to siguro familiar sa inyo, Jim Jones was an American who set up a religious cult in the country of Guyana, and who led more than 900 of his followers to commit suicide by drinking cyanide-laced punch, no? So parang tinipon niya, sinabi niya na mag-end of the world na that time, so parang hindi nila ma-experience yung havoc na ma-experience sila dapat. So in-encourage niya na uminom sila ng poisonous drink, which is the cyanide-laced punch. And namatay sila lahat. 900 of them died. No? Through his power, because of his influence, no? So there are many ways a power can be abused. Totoo yan. From the smallest to the largest form of influence. A leader needs to try to be fair and caring in his or her leadership. Okay? And lastly, is the values of a leader. So, self-explanatory na to ulit. Values are the ideas, beliefs, and modes of actions that a people find worthwhile or desirable. Some examples are peace, justice, integrity, fairness, community. A leader's ethical values are demonstrated in everyday leadership, not just today, not just sa other week, but every day, kailangan makita ito sa leader. Diba? Kung sino man sa inyo din, nakaklase ko are already parents, no? So, being the leader, no? Of the household, no? The values must be well applied sa atin bilang parents, no? Para makita ng ating mga children. Alright? So, both the leader and the follower have values. Dapat both of them. The challenge for the leader is to be faithful to his or her own leadership values while being sensitive to the followers' values. Okay? Dapat may prinsipyo ka. Dapat yung leader, dapat hindi ka madaling na to-turn sa yung goal, no? Hindi ka double-minded. Dapat faithful ka sa own leadership values. Stick to it. Okay? But also be sensitive to the values of your follower. Just like James McGregor Burns, he suggested that there are three kinds of leadership values. Number one, ethical values, such as kindness and altruisms. Modal values, which is concerned with the means and actions a leader takes, such as responsibility and accountability. And lastly, end values, which describes the outcomes of or goals a leader seeks to achieve, such as justice and community. Sisiluan na naman ito ng 2003. Okay? And lastly, the value of a leader. A leader in a organization may value community and encourage his or her employees to work together and seek community and planning sa pagpaplan. The subordinates may value individuality and self-expression. An ethical leader must negotiate through these differences to find the best outcome for everyone involved. Finding common grounds is essential to ethical leadership. Okay? So, brainstorming, diba? In a meeting, kailangan yun, very important yun. Not just kung ano yung opinion ng leader, but also the subordinates will throw in yung ideas nila. And sometimes, mas better pa di ba? In fairness, with all honesty naman, minsan mas better yung ideas ng ating mga subordinates than the leader itself. Okay? And pag ganun, huwag tayong insecure. Huwag tayong magkaroon ng envy towards that person. You should respect, because maybe it will be for the benefit of the company, for the good of the company. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. So today, we have talked about the values, ethics na need natin as a leader. So, let's summarize them again, one last time. So, number one, we have the character of a leader, the actions of a leader, the goals of a leader, honesty of a leader, the power of a leader, and the values of a leader. So, hindi lang skills yung tinitignan natin, but also the attitude and character and the innermost part of being a leader. So, that's very important. So, thank you guys, and I hope na marami kayo natutunan. And for the next lesson, chapter 12, we are going to talk more about leadership. So, stay tuned guys, and God bless everyone. Thank you.